Listen, I've still yet to meet one person who's tasted or tried the pink sauce. Like, I was intrigued at one point and wanted to know, but it was just too extravagant for me to do it. So I wanted to see somebody, but I've yet to meet any. Has anybody tasted it? Well, you may not get the chance to. They say the new update, the pink sauce, just officially failed. Let's check it out.
The pink sauce ain't made one sale this month. Not one single sale.
Chef P's pink sauce has officially failed. In a series of update videos, she reveals her pitiful sales figures.
They gonna send me a check for
admitting she's clueless about the product.
I don't know what's going on with the pink sauce. I don't know where the pink sauce at.
Whilst being in denial, thinking it'll make a comeback.
The pink sauce will soon be a globally distributed.
Like, how did this happen? At one point, that sauce was in high demand, or at least from what I was seeing through like TikTok, and because it was going viral at one point in time. So the demand was there. How did you fumble that? How did you mess that one up like that? At least initially.
Distributed product. I don't know how it's gonna happen.
The fact that she experienced any success now seems like a miracle, as by Chef P's second video she was already facing problems. In its very first showcase, the sauce had a vibrant appearance, but in the TikTok that followed, the pink was slightly different. The color has changed so much. 2 days later, it was back to a darker pink, but 5 days after this, it was lighter than ever before, creating instant suspicion amongst potential customers. Why does it keep changing colors every video, whilst the sauce's consistency was also inconsistent? In some videos it was thick, sticking to the food like glue, whilst in others it was watery, dripping off any food it was put on. The fact that the consistency has changed so much really concerns me, although as shown in the very same comment, people were also incredibly curious. Why was it pink? How did she make it? Most importantly, what did the pink sauce taste like? Chef P's friends all seem to love it.
This is definitely a 10 out of 10.
But she didn't describe the flavor, building irresistible intrigue.
Honestly, it has its own taste. If you want to taste it, buy it. It goes on sale tonight.
People had gone.
The marketing was there. I don't know if she planned it that way or what, like withholding information like worked for her. Some people that don't work for her, people would just move on and go on to the next product. But for her, for some reason, that type of marketing was working it. And it had a lot of us intrigued. I saw it and was like, that's weird. But I wonder, what would it taste like? Maybe not for me, but I wouldn't mind seeing somebody tell me what it's like. I'm that person.
To the point of demanding she sell the product publicly, as Chef P had held off for ages to ensure the sauce was perfect.
We are doing quality testing to ensure that we get the best quality out to you guys to have minimum to no complaints.
In a different TikTok, she included an inspirational soundbite stating, "The biggest thing you have to worry about is making sure your quality stays up, creating expectations that the sauce would be incredible." But as she announced her first drop of 100 limited bottles, the top comment hinted at the sauce's next problem. Is it approved by US Food and Drug Administration? Well, to put it simply, no. In fact, Chef P didn't even understand what it was.
What do you mean FDA approved? I don't sell medical products. The pink sauce don't contribute to your health.
Thinking the F in FDA stood for pharmaceutical. People are really out here buying and eating pink sauce from a woman who doesn't even know what the F in FDA stands for.
No, bro. No. People were trying that. No. Some people, before you go live and respond to people, man, understand. Please look at what they're talking about, bro, and understand it before you go live. That probably just killed the whole product right there. That probably did it.
for. To silence the backlash, she'd host a live stream titled "The FDA is at my house."
It is safe. We are taking the precautions.
Although people found this strange. Comments read that's not how the FDA works, as the FDA don't do house calls, forcing Chef P to admit she was lying. Turns out she'd been visited by Florida Health Services, which seemingly failed to make the product safer. The bottles had no nutritional info or list any of the ingredients, which Chef P still didn't disclose even after being asked.
I can't tell you the ingredients that I used to make it pink, but it's pink.
At a different time, she even lied about ingredients, claiming it had no garlic.
The pink sauce contains 0 raw garlic ingredient.
Although in a video of her making it, you can see raw garlic floating in the mix. People therefore stated, okay, but for real, what herbs are in the pink sauce? Because like, I'll get some, but I don't want to have an allergic reaction. No ingredients listed sounds like a lawsuit waiting to happen if someone has an allergic reaction, forcing Chef P to reluctantly oblige.
I've been seeing all the shady comments. There will be nutrition facts. Calm down.
No, you kinda literally have to tell us how you made it pink. To which Chef P responded, I don't have to do anything. Of course, my package will have nutrition facts. This was confirmed as she sent her first shipment, but the top comment predicted there'd be shipping problems. Hey, I deliver for USPS, and we kinda just shove packages into the mailbox or lockboxes. These things are probably gonna overheat and curdle or explode, which turned out to be perfectly accurate.
Oh my god. Look at this! It don't even say pink sauce on this bitch.
The sauces had been sent in the middle of summer, and after taking 2.5 weeks to arrive, many had fully exploded.
And this is, no ma'am, we're not trying this. Look at this. It stinks.
The bottles that didn't explode were still extremely bloated.
I'm just a little worried about it being swollen. I don't know if this is considered swollen or not.
In which case the pink sauce became completely rotten. It was because the product contained milk and honey, which grew so much bacteria it expanded the bottle.
So no doubt by the time you receive your pink sauce, the milk is already spoiled. So you're basically just buying poison.
A food safety expert stated, in some cases raw honey can cause botulism, an extreme case of food poisoning. So it's no surprise that some people are reporting that they got violently ill after eating the pink sauce. One person claimed it sent her to hospital.
Y'all really need to stop buying these pink sauce from that girl on TikTok. Look where I ended up.
Explaining the pink sauce gave her real bad food poisoning. It seems to be the oil that she put on that sauce didn't sit well on me, whilst a Reddit user posted a similar story. My 13-year-old daughter bought a bottle of pink sauce online without my knowledge and is now in hospital. I can't even think straight. Chef P responded by claiming that these weren't real.
People making fake reports saying that they were getting sick from the pink sauce. However, they never even made a pink sauce purchase.
But with incorrectly listed ingredients, this certainly could have happened. For example, the bottle's label misspelled vinegar as vinger, which could have just as easily been a misspelling of ginger. Another person noticed her using a white mayo-like substance, which also wasn't listed.
She is using something that's not here to give it that particular color and consistency.
But the problems with the label only kept on going.
There is nothing in the label about refrigeration, nor is there an expiration date on the label.
In addition to no expiry or refrigeration warning, the bottle incorrectly stated it had 444 servings, which at 14.4 grams per serving meant the bottle should have weighed 6.4 kilos or 14 pounds. To add a cherry on top of the cake, the label didn't fit the bottle, but surely Chef P was on standby to fix potential problems.
Okay, kids. Okay, class. What do we learn here? That's how you gotta address this situation at the end. Because it sounds like to me somebody went viral and didn't expect to go viral, and now has all this demand and wants to get it to the people and just went about it all the wrong way. It sounds like, you know what I mean? And it happens, bro. You have this quick success from something you created. You don't even know if it's safe. You don't know the proper steps to go to. You want to get it to the people, but you don't want to. It sounds like that. So again, class, what did we learn? Go through the proper steps and film that. Film you going through the proper steps, figuring out what you need to do, your ingredients, your all of this type of stuff. That just adds more content to your product, creates more demand. Creates more demand. They feel like they're going through it with you. So like, I just can't believe she just like sent that out. Milk was curdling. Bottles were exploding. It stunk. People said, could you, that just make me sick thinking about it.
Well, instead, she was partying on a boat, blaming the customers for the product's shortcomings.
You guys are judging a prototype. A prototype is when a product is not an official product.
However, a lawyer named
How did you send that out then? She's just, oh my gosh, she need a publicist, bro. How can you say y'all are judging the prototype? You've already sent it out. Holy, she didn't just say that. Grandma, she didn't just say that, did she, Grandma? Grandma. I'll start talking to somebody else, man. I mean, she didn't just say that.
Allegedly, Stephanie explained this wasn't even legal.
You cannot have a prototype of food, ma'am. When it is food, it has to be perfect, as in at least edible, at least not making people sick.
Leading Chef P to apologize.
My apologies. I'm only human. I'm not perfect.
And remove the sauce from sale until she could fix its problems. In the meantime, people began to joke. It's all fun and games till you see her pink sauce in the store, although nobody expected this would actually happen until it was announced you could buy the sauce in Walmart. Chef P stated, I'm ready for chapter 2, having partnered with a company called Dave's Gourmet, who used their expertise to ensure the product wouldn't explode.
Thank you so much, Dave's Gourmet. I'm so excited about the growth and scaling of the sauce.
With articles such as how the pink sauce chef survived her downfall, and comments like, oh, I'm so happy for her. They were bashing her so much, it seemed Chef P had fixed her reputation. She reassured the audience, we will not let you down. And with the sauce in over 4,000 stores, Rolling Stone literally wrote, it's hard to see what would stop her at this point. The taste of that victory must be sweet, although only 16 days later, people already found the bottles being taken off shelves.
People have started to post videos showing that the pink sauce is going on clearance, which, by the way, look at this color, and look at the color that the pink sauce lady showed. That is not pink.
As mentioned, the color had also changed dramatically. In multiple different TikToks, the contents turned a yellowish brown.
Yeah, that looked like an Italian dressing almost inside. Don't nothing about that seems pink, and I know my colors, bro. Look at the label and then look at the sauce. Two different colors, and it could have been a lighter pink, but it's so far from pink, it's not even close.
In reality, it's like the same color as cane sauce.
Possibly informing another massive price drop. It's funny because most of the pink sauce is on the clearance section in Walmart for 50 cents, but somehow the bottles still fell further.
So a video just went viral showing the pink sauce on clearance at Walmart for just 25 cents a bottle.
Chef P's comments filled with people calling her a failure, yet she'd respond by stating when they say you fell off, but pink sauce just sold 200,000 bottles. People therefore thought she was doing extremely well, although it turns out the opposite was true.
I almost got evicted from my home. I had to go get $20 from my mama.
Pink sauce creator claims she's broke due to a faulty deal. I don't even have enough money to buy my kids food. The article explained Chef P had opened a GoFundMe trying to raise $100,000 as, right now I don't even have enough money to buy my kids food on my own. My mum is on disability and has been giving us $20 just to get by on a daily basis. This was confirmed by a video showing her eviction notice, claiming Dave's Gourmet had stolen her recipe and ruined the product by changing its color.
Dave's Gourmet should know why the sauce turned yellow when it hit the shelves.
She further added, they lied to me. They are not paying me and are not being transparent about records. I have been silenced and financially sabotaged. They are refusing to pay me the royalty that is owed to me.
These people defrauded me, so I would have to sue them for fraud.
Although it turns out this was just another lie, because Dave's Gourmet responded, explaining that paid her 120 grand, which Chef P had wasted on luxury spending. That further explained that she'd requested over $10,000 in marketing expenses to throw herself a birthday party to maybe be featured on TikTok. She also requested that they pay for her dress $800 and shoes $600 plus. Chef P also attempted to submit business expense reports reports for personal expenses like buying 4 pairs of sneakers or expensing her grocery bills, but when Dave's Gourmet would not approve these expenses, she got upset and never collaborated with them since. Chef P instead took her GoFundMe earnings and relaunched the pink sauce in a new powder format, which supposedly somehow completely sold out. People joke that she probably only had 10 in stock, to which Chef P angrily responded, "Thanks for keeping me on the algorithm with your meaningless comment. If she did only have 10 in stock, August the Duck bought 40%.
There are 4 total sauces, 2 blue sauces, 2 pink sauces,
exposing the product as extremely expensive.
Each one of these packets, 1 single serving, $20 a piece. I spent $80 fucking on what you're looking at right here.
He then had to spend a further $70.
We need 4 different ingredients to make this sauce. About $150 is how much I've spent
for what he discovered was a terrible flavor.
I'm sorry, Chef Pie, but no, they're both definitely gross. It does not taste like ranch. It tastes far worse than ranch.
Likely contributing to Chef P's current position, literally 0 sales, as was shown in the opening clip.
The pink sauce ain't made 1 sale this month, not 1 single sale.
And as of just the previous week, the pink sauce website is now fully deleted. On top of this, Chef P's company Flavor Crazy was previously listed as active, but after recently checking the very same page, it now rather says inactive. She'd post on her Instagram, "Normalize being out of the loop. Like, what is even going on, LOL?" Likely because she doesn't even know where to buy the original pink sauce.
I haven't seen nothing at no Walmart or no other store. And it's my business, it's my product, and I don't even know where it's at.
And only that she's receiving basically 0 royalties.
They gonna send me a check for $121. Lord Jesus, take the wheel.
$121 is too generous. But Chef P's still convinced she has a $1 billion business, which is a pretty crazy value for a product that's only sold secondhand on eBay.
Whoa, wait a minute. Before y'all roll out. How did people ruin Cocomelon? Now, I don't have small kids anymore. My kids are like growing up a little bit. And I missed the whole Cocomelon wave. So how did y'all, but I always heard about Cocomelon. How did y'all ruin that? It's saying it's the most evil channel on YouTube? How? I gotta see this. Y'all gotta watch this with me before y'all roll out.
My son is almost 2 and I've been letting him watch Cocomelon, but now I had to get him speech therapy so I can get him to talk. There are hundreds and hundreds of anecdotes in which parents mention the exact same problem. The Cocomelon show is so insanely addictive, it's being compared to nicotine and causing developmental issues amongst the kids who can't stop watching. Children's TV expert Jerica Sands calls it the most damaging show a child can watch, explaining the sneaky ways in which they make the show addictive. Firstly, there's the colors. Take for example the wheels on the bus. The 3 main colors, blue, green and yellow, are all at maximum saturation, meaning they cannot be made any brighter no matter how hard you try. Extreme saturation is normally used for alerts and notifications, as it's exciting, dynamic and attracts attention, which is why it's also used in slot machines. Cocomelon puts these colors in perfect contrast, making them appear even more vibrant, which is different to, for example, Bluey, in which the colors instead blend together. Cocomelon's also different because it's highly repetitive. There's a reason they have 38 videos with over 1 billion views. A child's brain is wired to learn through repetition, so it feels right to them to watch the same thing over and over again. Cocomelon abuses this in almost every video. For example, in the Yes Yes Playground song, they pick a word to repeat 3 times in every sentence, pairing it with a subtly repeating background lullaby, keeping children hooked. Literally no show or movie puts my son into a deep trance the way Cocomelon does.
Wait a minute. At what point in time do we take some self-accountability, bro? The kid can't watch the TV if the TV ain't on. You have to turn the TV on for the kid. You have to then turn to Cocomelon. Like, what do you mean? Like, of course Cocomelon is gonna do what they do, but we have to we're partly responsible, bro. We allowed it. Oh, what you gonna say? Oh, the kid threw a tantrum and fit, and I couldn't get him to stop crying until I turned it on? Hey, I'm old school. My grandma used to be like, hey, let him cry. It'll make him stronger. Like, who else parents said that? Hey, that makes his lungs stronger. My parents did. My grandma did. Like, come on, man. We can't just solely blame this on Cocomelon.
The second it's on the TV, he turns into a toddler zombie who doesn't see or hear anything else that's going on in the room. This is only exacerbated by Cocomelon's subtitles, which have also been a heavy point of criticism. The letters are not educational, I can barely read them fast enough. It's simply another interesting element to capture your little one's attention. Cocomelon explains in every description, our goal is to help make learning a fun and enjoyable experience for kids, giving you the peace of mind that your children are receiving quality educational content. But people have argued that they're teaching exactly what children shouldn't do. For example, in the No No Bedtime song, the baby refuses to brush his teeth, have a bath, put on pajamas, or get in bed. The education is that he eventually agrees to do so, yet a TikTok user was critical, stating, anytime I'd ask my son to do a simple task, he'd say no, no, no. He's sitting there watching Cocomelon, which taught him no, 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 and to say no to me. On the topic of education, Jerica San stated, these people don't give a shit about our children. They care about money. That's it. Your child's cognitive development in direct exchange for their wealth, and there's pretty good evidence supporting this. A New York Times journalist visited Cocomelon's studio, discovering their #1 focus is keeping children hooked. Cocomelon's data and analytics team sifts constantly through YouTube numbers to determine exactly what resonates. Should a girl wear black jeans or blue jeans? Should the music be louder or softer? Should the bus be yellow or red? Yellow is the answer, as they use a darker method to ensure that they're correct. Cocomelon has a dedicated Distractatron room, in which once a month children are brought here one at a time and shown a handful of episodes to figure out exactly which parts of the shows are engaging and which are tuned out. Next to the TV playing Cocomelon, there's a second screen which plays a continuous loop of banal real-world scenes. A guy pouring a cup of coffee, someone getting a haircut, each lasting about 20 seconds. Whenever a youngster looks away from the Moonbug show to glimpse the Distractatron, a note is jotted down. We can see what they're looking at and the exact moment when they got distracted. Therefore, education clearly isn't the primary goal. Keeping kids' attention is, and this is proven by Cocomelon's most addictive element, rapid camera cutting. It's crazy how many times the frame changes on Cocomelon. It's the same type of addicting behavior that we experience on a TikTok binge. It's the quick change of frame that releases that dopamine and makes the videos addicting to watch. Count the seconds between a change of frame. Well, TikToker the Circus Brain did exactly this. He firstly counts the changes on My Little Pony, concluding there's about 6 seconds between each cut. He then compares it to Cocomelon.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. In her video, The Nightmare That Is Cocomelon, Savantix draws a similar conclusion. She found that 96% of the shots in Baby Shark were shorter than 2 seconds. She then compares 4 different animated shows, again finding Cocomelon has the shorter shots.
The longest shot on a Cocomelon video was 6 seconds. The longest shot on Arcane was 8 seconds. The longest shot on Bluey was 27 seconds. And the longest shot on Encanto was 18 seconds.
Which, when combined with every other element, create some terrifying statistics. Dr. Kristen Summer explained that when showing an infant normal video content, they'll focus on the screen just 11% of the time. However, when the video is instead switched to Cocomelon, their screen engagement skyrockets to a whopping 74%. This therefore produces stories such as this. I used to volunteer for a preschool and they had song time. A Cocomelon video came on and all of the tots stopped what they were doing, put down their cheese crackers, and remained fixated on the screen for the duration of the video. It was honestly kind of terrifying. YouTuber Saberspark shared his own personal anecdote. He asked to watch a Disney movie with his 2 younger cousins, who both completely refused, and instead spent all day glued to an iPad playing the addictive show. In Cocomelon Made My Kid a Zombie, a mother talks about her son. He would be in a daze while watching it. You could be waving your hand right in front of his face, and he wouldn't move. It was almost scary. This was also discovered by Sarah Mills 98, who explained when the Cocomelon addiction is so real that my 1-year-old can navigate the TV to turn it on by himself. However, nothing shows the addiction better than the Cocomelon TikTok trend. Parents will play the show's intro loudly and video their kids sprinting toward the television, where you can witness their mood change instantly. The New York Times journalist found something similar. The kid in the Distractotron had shown up in the midst of a tantrum, which ended the second he heard the Cocomelon theme song. It was no surprise to Wheeler, the head of research. 99% of kids, he said, if they're having issues when they get here, once that Cocomelon song comes on, they're like, life is okay, all is good with the world. Obviously, there's a reason for this. Cocomelon is so hyperstimulating that it actually acts as a drug, and what happens when you take the drug away. Young children experiencing symptoms of addiction and withdrawal, obviously leaving them completely dysregulated.
Again, and I ain't trying to be a broken record, but we gotta take responsibility in the part we play. We know it's addictive, so we gotta pull them away from it. When I was younger, it was video games. My folks say I was addicted to video games. And I was fine playing it, getting caught in trying to beat a stage, a level. So they told me to go outside, go play, go be with your friends. Like, that was their form of getting me off of that, which they thought at the time was the right thing to do. Like, so what am I hearing? Granted, I get it. It's addictive. It is. That's their job. They're doing their job. Like, we got to pull them away from it if you don't want them to be in front of that thing. Turn it off. Simple. I got a remote right here. It's a little power button. See that power button? You hit that power button, that TV goes off. Now we got to figure something else out to do. And for some people, I think that scares them. Not all, some. I think that scares them having to figure out, okay, what to do. Not let TV or whatever raise the kid. You have to do it. You have to spend time. We ain't all the best at it. I wasn't the best at it. It was time. I could have did better. I worked a lot. You know what I mean? So it's like, we just got to figure it out.
TikTok user ThePoff1 filmed what happens when you take the show away, explaining he'll be inconsolable for at least 10 to 15 mins after, adding in the description, Cocomelon meltdown is legit. Once you have a taste of the cocoa, it's hard to break the addiction, which this Reddit user had experienced even worse. My husband and I have been worried about our child. I can slowly see how she'd throw violent tantrums at home and in church whenever she'd get bored and would want to watch the show. Her behavior changes the moment she watches the show, and she will not even eat her meals if she wouldn't watch it. After these tantrums end, kids can experience a general discomfort in the speed of everyday life. The more they watch the show, the more their brain begins to expect this intense level of stimulation.
Basically, Cocomelon overstimulates their brains so much that everything else just seems slow and boring in comparison.
However, the potential consequences get much worse than this. As mentioned at the start, it was the cause of a child's speaking problems, with a notable reply reading, "Same thing happened with my daughter too. She's 4 but can't speak properly. She knows the words, but she does not like to frame the sentence or speech. She has been watching these Cocomelons or such other stuffs for 2 or 3 years. Hope we're not too late." Over on Reddit, a speech-language pathologist explained, "Screen time in general is linked with speech delays for a variety of reasons, but Cocomelon is excessively bad."
But what's the first thing she said? Screen time. Even your cell phone gives you that account these days of how much screen time you're using each week. And you see you might need to cut back a little bit because your phone is addicting. They do the same thing on your phone. So newsflash, people, it's not going to stop. They're going to experience it now as a kid, and then they're going to experience when they grow older and start using a cell phone of how addictive that is. So we have to step in. Simple. That kid sitting on the couch, my grandma would have walked right past me crying. I had that type of grandma. I had that type of mom. Oh, you still crying? Okay, I'll be back. Oh, you still sitting there crying? You ain't got over it yet? That was the way they did it. Was it the right way? I don't know. It worked. It worked.
Firstly, unlike other TV shows or movies, it doesn't have a story. It's just very short clips with poorly written songs. The kids aren't able to follow the plot, learn vocabulary, and see the resolution of a conflict supported by infant special Megphora.
And the problem with fast-paced TV programs is that we find that little one's language development is slower.
On the Agents of Speech YouTube channel, this is again confirmed.
The main problem with watching videos on the internet is that they don't know how to use the language that they learn.
But he adds that 4 to 5 hours of screen time per day can make a toddler completely non-verbal. 4 to 5 hours is obviously a lot of time, but in Cocomelon Made My Kid a Zombie, researchers discovered that 5-year-olds who watch more than 2 hours of TV a day tended to have lower attention spans and were 7.7 times more likely to show symptoms of ADHD. These screen times might be even lower for Cocomelon specifically because, as explained by Jerica Sands, not all screen time is created equal. A child who just watched 30 minutes of Cocomelon and a child who just watched 30 minutes of Trash Truck will look like a very, very different child. Thankfully, here lies a simple solution. Sierra Renee explained my 2-year-old is speech delayed and addicted to Cocomelon. Switched to Miss Rachel 2 days ago and he's already saying more words and hasn't had any tantrums. Kim.it shared an almost identical anecdote. My 8-month-old was obsessed with Cocomelon and having bad tantrums, so I cancelled Cocomelon and only let her watch Miss Rachel, and she said her first word within the first 3 days of watching. Clearly, parents are able to simply change the channel, but not before leaving Cocomelon a massive amount of dislikes. They've therefore earned the title The Absurdly Popular Kids Show Parents Hate, and Cocomelon has actually responded to the criticism that explain our shows are not intended to replace outdoor playtime or playdates. They have a place in children's entertainment time, and as with food, exercise, etc., it comes down to each parent to find the right and appropriate balance for their children. Our responsibility is ensuring that the quality of the content that we produce is high and beneficial for the development of a child's cognitive and soft skills. It is worth adding that our social media communities are filled with stories of parents who experience firsthand how Moonbug content helps their children. Cocomelon does have a crazy amount of supporters, but it's obvious that some of them are simply ignoring the downsides. My baby learned the alphabet and numbers from Cocomelon. She may not speak a complete sentence, but she expresses her wants through phrases. But is it Cocomelon's responsibility to ensure that babies are talking? Well, no. People love blaming cartoons and games for raising children, and not the shitty parents that don't step in to stop them from watching so much. Cocomelon is actually a really sad symbol of parents giving their children tablets instead of actually parenting and interacting with them. Ultimately, parents are the people who choose how much their child consumes.